go back to Romeo and Papa. It's gonna be
In this particular case, we're dealing with a school teacher, and how that school teacher groomed a 6th grade student in successful efforts to groom and encourage that 6th grade student to exchange explicit text messages and preform sex acts. We are talking about the case of Brittney Zamora. In March 2018, the then 27-year-old married educator was arrested and charged with 8 counts of sexual conduct with a minor, 2 counts of child molestation and 1 count of transmitting obscene material. We will now go into some of the details of this case. Let's have a look to some of the background of this case. It is clear from the following details that she was fully aware of what she was doing. Just have a listen to this. Brittney Zamora was bored, she allegedly told her class. The Arizona teacher, then just 27, had only joined the Goodyear school as a 6th grade teacher just the year before, according to court documents. She wasn't going to be at school that day, so she told her students to text her using the app Classcraft, documents show. It was there, according to the documents, that Zamora and the 13-year-old boy known only as John Doe first connected. "I'm bored," Zamora allegedly told the boy. He replied he was bored too. "Why don't you come over?" Zamora allegedly suggested. "On my way over," John Doe answered. "JK," he added. The conversation transitioned to the school dance, court documents show, and Zamora allegedly asked if John Doe was going. She called herself an old salty babe, according to the documents. Authorities say it was the beginning of a clandestine relationship between the two. Things quickly escalated from the first messages between Zamora and John Doe on Classcraft, according to court documents. Zamora became more aggressive in her interactions with the 13-year-old. Lawyers for the boy's family say in a notice of claim filed to support a lawsuit the family would later bring against the school district. She openly flirted with John Doe during recess, according to multiple students. Their interactions didn't go unnoticed. According to the documents, on February 7, 2018, 3 students reported what was described by the interim superintendent of the school district as favoritism allegedly displayed by Zamora toward John Doe. So she didn't seem to be trying to hide any of the stuff that she was doing. The favoritism, for example, would have been a real giveaway. The 13-year-old boy is referred to as John Doe. In the following recording, you will hear the father of John Doe confronting Zamora after finding out that she had been having sex with his 13-year-old son.
"You're a child molester, do you understand me?" No.
Why do you say that?
Oh, see, I'm a lot smarter than you.
Can we meet, to talk about this? Maybe something we can settle out, outside?
Oh yeah, that's what we can do, so I can give you a chance to do it to some other kid. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. No. And make sure you tell your husband what's going on.
He's right here. Can he talk to you?
Oh yeah, put your husband on the phone.
She's done so much, and she made a huge mistake. The biggest mistake of anybody could ever make in the whole entire world. But think about, God preaches forgiveness, man.
Your wife decided to be a monster and prey on a child. She scarred my son mentally. Do you understand what a 13-year-old boy did? Having sex with a teacher? Do you get that at all? Do me a favor. Do not call this number back again. The next time you'll hear from me will be in court.
Strong words indeed. That father was livid. And why shouldn't he be? Someone who was entrusted to educate and guide his son was educating and guiding him in a direction that some could hardly imagine. You will notice that her demeanor during that call was a bit nonchalant. Well, she wouldn't stay that way for long. This is the video of her arrest. Her arrest came very shortly after the phone call with the boy's parents in March 2018. She still didn't look as if she had grasped the full gravity of the serious situation she was in. Notice the battery of photographers with their cameras trained on her as she is led into the station. It just goes to highlight how unusual it is for a woman to commit such a crime. You will notice that she seems to be taking the whole thing fairly lightly. She even seems to be smiling as if she was taking it all in her stride. Arizona has some of the toughest penalties for crimes of a sexual nature. After pleading guilty to the charges, Brittney Zamora was sentenced to 20 years in prison for molesting a 13-year-old student. The lowest possible sentence allowed for her crime. She will be on probation for the rest of her life, and must register as a sex offender. She got credit for the 478 days she had already served in prison. I am a good and genuine person who made a mistake, and regret it deeply, Zamora said in a Maricopa County Superior Court hearing. I lived my life respecting, and trying to obey every law. I'm not a threat to society. She apologized to the victims, their families, and her own family. She told Judge Sherry Stevens that her actions were out of character, and said she'd like to attend counseling. She said she plans to earn a new degree in prison, so she can embark on a new career when she's released. But outside the courtroom, Zamora, in a statement read by her attorney, blamed the child she sexually abused, and painted herself as the victim. This was not between a young child and Brittney, this was a teenager, attorney Belen Olmeida Guerra said during a news conference following the hearing. So whatever you think of this case, she received a very severe punishment. 20 years is a lot of time. She will be a middle-aged woman when she gets out, and her movements will be severely curtailed, as she will be on the sex offenders register for life and will also spend the rest of her life on probation. A sad outcome for a woman who could have had a fruitful and productive life. Instead, she will waste away her most productive years in a prison cell. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and click that notification bell. See you again soon.